Well, it seems to be happening. Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo is pushing forward with labeling COVID-19 shots a bioweapon. The World Council for Health Florida says this, quote, mRNA nanoparticle injections are biological and technological weapons of mass destruction that have caused a massive amount of disease, disability, and death, and without intervention, this will continue into the foreseeable future. The World Council for Health Florida is therefore endorsing the Sansone mRNA Bioweapons Prohibition Act and calls upon legislators, to support this proposed bill. The Sunshine State is taking the lead on ensuring we're never again faced with the kind of horrific situation we experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic with unconstitutional vaccine mandates for what were clearly, and we said since the beginning, biological weapons rather than quote unquote vaccines. And it gets worse. According to the Florida Surgeon General, his office has determined that between the two main shots of mRNA, the one produced by Moderna and the other produced by Pfizer, is at the White House today, the Pfizer shots is more dangerous. Watch.
First of all, multiple studies now, to be very clear, multiple studies now show that of the two, Moderna and Pfizer, Pfizer is definitely worse. Pfizer is worse for cardiovascular side effects related to blood clotting. Pfizer is worse for neurologic effects, and Pfizer is worse for serious adverse events overall. A few studies have shown that Pfizer may be associated with an increase in mortality also compared to Moderna. The vaccines, they are not the same. You've heard my opinion, Dr. Corey's, Dr. Walskog's opinions about their use in general, but between the two of them, Pfizer is definitely worse.
Behind the Sansone Bioweapons Act, Dr. Joseph Sansone, who is the author of The Mind Matters and Everything Else on Substack. Good to see you, Dr. Sansone, and I'll say congratulations. You've been working so hard on this. So I'm so glad that you're getting the backing of the Surgeon General and then this organization in Florida, the World Health Council. I don't have the name right, but this is great because you need support. You need people in the fight with you, Dr. Sansone. This is big.
Yeah, it is big, and you've been, I think, working a long time on this. Let me just, they crossed a couple wires on you there. The Surgeon General has not declared them to be biological and technological weapons. The World Council for Health did, which is the first health freedom organization or health medical freedom organization to declare them to be biological weapons, and that is a big deal. The Surgeon General spoke there at their event this past weekend. What the Surgeon General did do is a couple weeks back, you remember when he had that big press conference about the mandate? Okay, in that press conference, he stopped for a moment there, and he said that the MRNA injections were a poison. And the reason that is legally significant is because that is an illegal definition under Florida Statute 790.166. It uses the term poisonous when describing biological or chemical agents, biological products or chemical agents. And so what I did, first of all, the fact that he said that they were poison in that speech should have been huge news and nobody caught it. But secondly, what should have been news is I took the transcript of his statement and his video and filed it in my case as a supplemental authority because the Surgeon General was speaking in his official capacity with the governor standing nearby, who's an appellee and defendant in my case. And so I filed the fact that the Surgeon General and the Florida Department of Health are now saying that the mRNA injections are a poison. And I filed that in my case. And I believe this is legally significant because it is the literal definition in the law. And so okay. I think, yeah, go ahead.
I understand now. So Dr. Joseph Ladapo made this huge statement, literally calling the jabs poison, which then lines up with the law that you're citing related to bioweapons. And you were able to file that statement as supplemental information in your appeal. Okay. I'm glad you clarified.
Right. So he might go on my Christmas card list. We might have to put him on a Christmas card list. But that was a gift. But honestly, I think it is legally significant. I've also filed COVID-19 injections, harms, damages, a non-exhaustive conclusion. Dr. Andrew Zivitz and 11 prominent authors, including Dr. Vila, were on that paper. And that paper says that both the virus and the quote-unquote vaccine violated the Biological Weapons Convention. So I filed that in my case, too, as a supplemental authority. So I've put a lot of mounting evidence in my case to support the original brief, so I've got scientific data, legal data, backing up the fact that these are, in fact, biological and technological weapons of mass destruction. And I think this is legally significant. They're taking a longer time to give me an answer in this case. I've been at this a year and a half trying to get Governor DeSantis to enforce the law. But this case, it's been about 4 months since my oral argument was denied, and they still haven't given a ruling. Last case, it was about 2 weeks. So hopefully that means that they're actually writing a decision here. In Florida, they can just affirm the lower court, and that'll block you from any appeal to the Supreme Court. And so as the evidence comes out, I just keep filing new information. I think last time I was on, it was when I filed Robert Kennedy's statement in his official capacity that the shots basically don't work and the risk outweigh the benefits, because I argue in my case that now shows criminal intent on behalf of the federal government and the secretary for keeping them on the market. And I think these are it's important to push the envelope. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just agreeing with you. I mean, they've made statements saying, we know this is bad. He's been a little more openly stating that, I would say, of late, right, than he was early in the administration. So the question is, why not just pull them off the market? And in fact, the secretary was at the White House today with the president praising Pfizer for coming in, and the president for negotiating a deal to get drugs for Medicaid and Medicare at a cheaper cost, saying that families should never have to choose between, the medications they need and feeding themselves. Which, sure, that's good, but we need more focus on pulling these mRNA jabs. I was also surprised by Latipo's statement that the Pfizer is actually worse than Moderna, because I thought it was vice versa.
I mean, I think it's all bad. I think if you look at the data, part of that study talking about the preliminary data of Dr. Vila's, which I've mentioned on your show before, like 75% of the people have damaged immune systems from the shots in her studies. But look, we're getting a lot of mixed messaging coming out of the Trump administration, a whole bunch of issues, not just this one. And what I tell people is maximum pressure is the only way you can get anything done. I mean, I'm suing. I'm trying to get my bill introduced. You can go on my website and download the bill for any state you're in and try to get it introduced. But file a case. Find a legal argument or create a legal argument and file a case. More people need to get involved. This isn't like a one-man show. We need as many people doing this stuff all over the place, because don't cheer your politicians. Your politicians are going to do as little as possible. They're not this isn't like a football game where you got your team and their team. You need to pressure them in all ways possible. They're hitting us with asymmetrical warfare. We need to hit them back asymmetrically and come at them in ways they don't imagine yet. And because that's what they're doing to us. They're talking to you just on your show today, Emerald. You talked about them attacking our food supply, undermining our elections, and now we're talking about the fact that they're waging bio warfare against us. And so I believe in maximum pressure. I'm not going to give anybody a pass, because America first means you can't look the other way when they're murdering our people.
You're absolutely right. Actually, the show could be called Hybrid Warfare or Unrestricted Warfare, because really that is the underlying theme of everything we talk about. I'm so glad you picked up on that, Dr. Sansone. Look, I get hammered by our side all the time saying, why are you so hard on the administration? Why are you so hard on, the president and his officials? And it's because we need it. Unfortunately, it does take pressure and then public support for them to do the right thing. They also want to hear that we have their back, vocally, when they do the right thing. And we've seen movement in that just from doing this week alone. Have we seen results from, talking about certain issues on this show, and we've suddenly heard that the administration is acting. So it's just the way it is. So thank you for doing your part, Dr. Sansone. I'm encouraged that you're getting some support, that the conversation is moving, albeit not fast enough, but we're slowly and surely getting there. And there are dozens of these bills, similar bills in states across the nation, but you can be involved in your own state. Check out josephsansone.com, find out more information there, and see how you can integrate this into your own state and continue the fight there. Dr. Sansone, thanks for this good update.
Thank you.
And thank you for your continued support of not only this show, but also Mike Lindell and his great employees at MyPillow. In fact, they're so encouraged by your support. They want to thank you, our viewers, for your continued support. Mike has, as you all know, and you have seen it, he has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of their life. And he didn't just stop, by just creating the best MyPillow. He also created the best bed sheets ever. So, backed by popular demand and for a limited time, you can get those wonderful percale bed sheets, any size, any color, just $29.88. That includes even California Kings, all sizes, folks, just $29.88. Of course, this is a limited time only. I don't know how long he's going to be running this special, and Mike tells me when it's over, it's over. I'll also say not only is he focused on getting you a good night's sleep with the best MyPillow and the best bed sheets, but he also wants to make sure you're cozy throughout the day with the very best in slippers. My slippers are one of my favorite products, and I actually wear them every day because you can't see my feet. It means I get my best show effort because I'm so cozy in my slippers while I do my show. Additionally to all those great discounts when you use your promo code TRUTH for a limited time, when you order over $100, you'll also receive free shipping plus $100 in free digital gifts. Just go to mypillow.com and use your promo code TRUTH, or call the toll-free number you see at the bottom of your screen, 800-944-5396, and be sure to tell them you want to use the promo code TRUTH, and that's the absolute truth. I'll see you all tomorrow.